Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends X-Men Wave PSYLOCKE figure, which is one that I think a lot of people were pretty psyched about. The previous offerings for PSYLOCKE have been a little bit lacking, and this one was the one people were hoping was going to be the best. And it might still be the best. I'm not 100% sure. We're going to see how I feel about it by the end of the review. But it definitely has a few issues that we need to talk about and a few things that are pretty darn cool. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This figure stands just about 6¼ inches, which makes it just about 16 centimeters. And my first impression is that it's not put together particularly well, or at least the paint. You see the paint right here on the leg straps and even down on the leg, it's just totally transparent in some places. It looks just like airbrush shading, which is definitely not what it's supposed to look like. The lines that are there for the ones that aren't completely transparent are pretty clean. They're not terrible, but you see some that are particularly fuzzy, and it just really takes away from the figure because otherwise it's an entirely blank figure. Without that paintwork, it's nothing. So the paintwork that's on there needs to be pretty clean. Even down here for this like V-shaped paint job, it's relatively fuzzy, and that's not great. Another thing I noticed is that the ball pegs for her hips are blue, and that probably would have been better suited as skin tone. It makes more sense. Otherwise, it's aesthetically okay. Her face is, again, okay. If we're going to compare it to the other PSYLOCKE of recent history, it's the X-Force pack that we got at, what was that, SDCC 2012, I think? And obviously you can see some improvements on the body and some downgrades, and I'm not going to mention the downgrades in particular because I'm not allowed to say that kind of thing, but her boobs are a lot smaller. Oh, I said it. Anyway, the boobs aren't necessarily an important thing, but the figure in some ways just lacks a little bit of the detailing. Now we do have some really cool accessories, so let's talk about those. First, we have her little face mask, which looks pretty nice. It just kind of snaps onto her face. Does it stay on perfectly? No, but it does stay on well enough. And it's nice and translucent and vibrant pink, so that's kind of nice. We do have her little psionic dagger, which kind of just clips around her fist, and that's pretty cool too. I like that. It looks nice. Nice and translucent and saturated at the same time, so that's good. And then we have her katana with the extra piece on here, which makes it even cooler. So it's a translucent pink katana with translucent pink little, like, psionic energy swirling around it, and that looks absolutely great. And they even sculpted it so that it fits around her hand nicely, so that is really good. I love the accessories. As far as the articulation goes on this figure, oh, by the way, look at that. Look at her face. It came that way. There is glue all over her face. It's terrible. That is unacceptable. That is not good. Okay, now on to the articulation. The head is on your standard ball peg with the hinge, which usually gives us lollipop syndrome. On this one, the head definitely sits where it should. That's pretty good. There's a little bit of lollipop going on, but you can't really lift the head up to see it, so it's all right. Basically just going to turn the head from side to side on that ball peg. A little bit of play, not a whole lot. And then you can use that hinge if you want to make her look down or up, though it's going to look a little awkward. It can be done. For the shoulders, we get fine range going all the way up, relatively speaking, all the way around. Bicep swivels down here at the elbow. That's okay. I mean, that's what we're used to by now. It's not great, though. 90-degree plus for the bend, so that's nice. The wrist, swivel and a hinge, so that's good. This wrist, swivel and a hinge, so that's okay. Diaphragm joint, doesn't really want to go back at all, goes forward barely at all, side to side barely at all, and then it has rotation. So minimal diaphragm joint, which is no good because we've seen much better from them, so that's a bummer. This piece does sit pretty nicely. The hips, they go pretty far forward, so that's okay. Not so far back, not so far out to the side. Well, yeah, okay, that's pretty good out to the side. I'll give them that, that's pretty good. I do think that they could have done this a little bit better. The hips are kind of inset from the hips up here, so these are really narrow relative to this. They should be out farther and fuller, and that would make it look a lot better rather than having these big giant gaps. And they've done it, so they can do it. They just didn't on this one. Thigh swivel is okay, double jointed knee is okay, ankle hinge goes really far forward, all the way back, and you get your ankle rocker. So it's a mediocre release, honestly. Awesome accessories. It's an okay attempt at PSYLOCKE with basically just no follow through. Just the level of finish was not good enough. If the paint was crisp, that would have made this thing so much better. Very minimal effort with cool accessories. So I would definitely pick up the new one if you really want a PSYLOCKE figure, but it's just not where it needs to be. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day, almost. And we talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.